Hello, YouTube. My name is Will, and I'm an English teacher working in Korea right now. So I wanted to start this YouTube series to talk about the kinds of lessons that I teach in Korea, and hopefully other people that are thinking about moving here can get an idea of the kind of work that people do and maybe exchange some ideas and discuss what we do together. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment for 5 years. I was a QA tester, and I also did a little bit of game design work. I studied video game design in college. So when I came to teach English in Korea, I really wanted to take my experience in video games and apply it to the work that I do here as an English teacher. I'm really passionate about language learning. I've been studying Korean for almost 4 years now. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce a lesson that I was really happy with for the English town that I work at. The title of this class is Robot Workshop. In this class, students will compete against each other to see who can build a robot faster based on the specifications provided by the teacher. This works really well for elementary school students. I think for older students, it's a little childish for them, but you can certainly try it if you would like to. And it works for any class size. You can use it to practice reading and listening, and for the older students, a little bit of writing. So the way the class will go is you will start by introducing the topic that you're learning, and you'll teach the students the rules of the game, which I'll show you in a little bit. Then you will play the game through a series of rounds where you kind of escalate the difficulty as you go on and give the winning team points. And then you finish off with one big final round to see who the champion is.
You start out with this robot body, and you ask the students, this is a robot, what robot part is this? And they can answer. Sometimes they know the word body. Sometimes you can guide them to the word if they know something similar, like body wash. And for younger students, you can ask them to spell the word. So this one is body. Okay, next you ask them, okay, what goes here? What is this thing? And they have to answer, this is head. Once again, you can guide them to the answer if they don't know, but usually they know the word head. Then what I like to do is call on some students and have the students say some colors that they like. So maybe this student says they like gray, so we have a gray head, and this student likes pink, so you have a pink head, and one more student likes yellow. And you ask them how many heads there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 heads. And then you have them vote on which head they like the most. So the yellow head is really popular, so we'll go and pretend that the students voted for the yellow head right there. And next, we will ask them, what is this thing? And they will, sometimes they know the answer. So you say this is arm. And after that, I like to kind of joke around with them. So you can do something like, well, is this arm? No, this is not an arm. Let's see. Is this an arm? No, that's not an arm. How about this one? Is this an arm? No, what is that? So then you ask them, what is this? This is a leg. L-E-G, leg. After that, I will ask some students, some volunteers to come up and put their own pieces to complete the robot. So this one is also really popular for a leg. They'll usually do that. And let's see, for the arm, maybe rocket arm. Okay, and now the robot is finished. The last thing that we need is to give the robot a name. so the students can come up with their own name. So let's call this one Fight Robot. And it's done. So if you see here, this is everything together. There's 12 heads, 4 bodies, and 6 sets of arms and legs. There's the most number of heads because I think that the heads are the most interesting part of the robot. So the heads represent different colors. So you have the different colors of the rainbow, and this one's brown. This is rainbow. This one you can go with black or white, and this one I call mint. Then the bodies represent the different shapes. So you have rectangle body, circle body, square body, and triangle body. And then the arms and legs are just kind of random, different kinds of arms and legs. So when the students are making the robots, you'll notice that they all have these targets on them. This one's literally the Target logo. I just copied it off of the internet. And you put them together like this. So arms are red targets and legs are blue targets. So you can kind of mix and match them like that. So this is what one of the pieces looks like close up. They're all laminated. If you want to put in the work to do that, they also have magnets on the back. So when the students are playing the game, it's really easy for them to just have their whiteboard, stick the piece on like that.
These are the instructions that the students will see.
Okay, first is a purple head. So where's purple? Purple. Oh, here's purple. Purple head. Put it on the board. And circle body. Oh, circle body. Then next, the arms. The arms are big and yellow. So where's yellow? Oh, here's yellow. One yellow. And 2 yellow over here. And the last one. The legs have fire. Where's fire? Fire, fire. Oh, this looks like fire. So let's grab that and put that here. One more fire. And teacher, our robot is finished. Excellent. Oh. Uh-oh. And our robot is finished. Okay, perfect.
Once you've finished the practice round, you're ready to move on to the actual game where students will race each other to compete and see who can get the most points. So whichever team is able to finish their robot faster will be the winner. So let's look at that really quick. This is the slideshow that I used for 5th grade. I think the vocab is a little bit easy for 5th grade, but since I work at an English town, a lot of the games have to be a little more generic for the students. So we get very wide range of ability levels that come through here. So we normally err on the side of being a little too easy. And so after you do that, you'll notice it gets a little more difficult as time goes on, and the points that they get higher so that the teams that fall behind don't feel like they're totally not able to catch up anymore. Okay, and so this is the bonus round. During the bonus round, you give students about a minute to just play with the pieces and have fun and kind of come up with their own robot as creatively as they can. So I like to just give them a little break in the middle of playing the game because they get really competitive. In the final round of the game, everything that the students have learned up until that point comes together, and they are tasked with writing their own quiz for the other teams to complete. So you will give each team a worksheet that looks like this. The worksheet is linked in the description of this video if you want to download it. So there's a spot to fill in for the head, the body, the arms, and the legs, and they have a minute or two to write down their own choice, and then you exchange the worksheets between the teams, and whoever's able to finish faster gets the points that round and probably wins. At the end of the slideshow, I've included this cheat sheet to help the students. Like I mentioned before, I work at an English town, so a lot of the activities need to be a little more generic, and we need to help out the students if they're lower level. So this is a backup in case they're not sure what to write down. But if you are working with students that you know, I recommend not using this because it will test their knowledge a little bit more. And that's about it. The last thing I wanted to talk about is how to improve upon this idea. I'm a big believer in iteration. I think that no idea is ever fully complete. And like I mentioned in the beginning, I really want people to take what I've done and build upon it in their own way. So, some points that I can think to start off with, I think that the worksheet could be made to be a little more interesting. If you have students that are higher level, you can challenge them to write more creative answers instead of just filling in the blank. Also, the PowerPoint that I've included in the Google Doc, I think is okay. I think that the intro could be a little more relevant to what the actual class is going to be about. So if you want to change that at all, feel free to do that. And also, the last thing is that the theme of this class, it's really easy to change. I actually was thinking about how you could do this exact same class, but with like Pokemon, for example, and just change all the vocab and use Pokemon pieces, and it would be really cool too. So if you can think of a way to alter it like that and you want to get really creative with it, then like by all means go ahead. That sounds really cool.